Hey, hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jesse, and today I'm bringing you a book haul. I haven't done a book haul in a few minutes, and I've collected a few books. Not too many books, though. I'm still staying tame over here. I'm still respecting my book buying ban, so don't come for me in the comments, okay? I'm still abiding by the rules, I promise. Got 11 books to share with you guys today, some that I picked up on my own, and then some that were sent to me by book publishers. Without further ado, let's dive into the haul. Book haul, let's go, let's go. Let's plunge into a sea of books. That would really hurt. Paper cuts all over my body. Okay, we're done. Let's move on. The first book that I picked up is one that I've had my eye on for the longest time. It was on my most anticipated releases list of 2024, which I feel like I typically never, ever get to a majority of the books that I have on my most anticipated releases list, which I don't know what that says about me, but the book in question is this book right here. A Magical Girl Retires. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. My initial appeal with this book is the cover. It's beautiful. It's stunning. It's iconic. It is gorgeous. Quite literally gorgeous. Like, look at that. She's a beaut. I'm obsessed with her. She's quite literally everything. But beyond that, beyond this book just being beautiful, which I know is like a stupid reason to pick up a book, but like, come on. We all do it. You gotta admit, every now and then you pick up a book because it's beautiful. I'm not saying that the beautifulness of the cover always matches up with the contents of the insides. Like, sometimes you pick up a beautiful book and it sucks. That happens more times than I would like to admit. Anyway, that was the initial appeal, but then I read the description and I was very intrigued. I was very excited to pick up this book and read it. There's this line in the description that like really appeals to me and has me really wanting to read this book ASAP, and that line says, a millennial turned magical girl must combat climate change and credit card debt in this whimsical and wildly imaginative ode to magical girl manga. Like, this is right up my alley. I'm so excited about this. Now, this is much more of like a novella situation, which I'm excited for. I was on a kick with novellas there for a little bit. I was reading novellas left and right, but I feel like I kind of like fell off that wagon, so I would like to get back on that wagon and read this. It also has little like manga-inspired images sprinkled throughout it, which I love and I'm super excited about, so I can't wait to get to this one. I just hope that the beautiful cover aligns with the inside and that the inside is just as beautiful as the cover. Please be gushing with beautifulness on the inside. Please let your book guts be beautiful. That's all I ask. Give me beautiful book guts. Let's move on to talking about the next book. The next book that I picked up is also a novella. It's a part of a novella series. I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard about this one, and that is Mislaid in Parts Half Known. Now, I was talking about this book in some videos, and I was like, I'm in my dinosaur era. I can't wait to read this book because there's dinosaurs on the cover, so it must be filled to the brim with dinosaurs. But then a lot of you guys came into my comments and crushed my dreams, which I'm actually glad that you were like, yo brother, there's a major lack of dinosaurs in there. Don't let the cover persuade you into thinking that it's a dinosaur book because it's not really a dinosaur book. Which honestly, does devastate me quite a bit. I was looking forward to exploring some dinosaurs in this book, but I'm sure that I will still enjoy it because I love the Every Heart a Doorway series. Not the Every Heart a Doorway series. I always call it that, but it's the Every Heart a Door... No, it's the Wayward Children series. The Wayward Children series. I love this series. I binge read books 1 through 8 last year and they were fantastic. Even though they like all bleed together in my mind since I read them back to back to back, I'm still very much so looking forward to seeing what's next in store for this series. The next book that I picked up is the Sunbearer Trials. I've been wanting to read another book by Aiden Thomas ever since I read The Cemetery Boys. I love The Cemetery Boys. I feel like I don't talk about my love for that book enough, but like it's so fantastic and I would love to revisit it soon. Like I would love to give it a reread. That's how much I love it. I feel like once we are confirmed that we are getting a Cemetery Boys sequel and we have a cover, maybe I will do a reread, but I want to hold out until I know for sure that we're getting a sequel and that we've secured the sequel. Like I know that Aiden Thomas has talked about the fact that we're getting a sequel, but until we've got a confirmed publication date for that sequel, I'm holding out on my reread. This book sounds right up my alley. It is a little bit confusing because basically there are these trials that happen. Essentially what's going on in here is that the sun needs to be replenished in order for Sol, who is this like godlike being protecting the people, in order for Sol to keep like gallivanting across the sky and protecting the people. Like the sun needs to be replenished. And so Sol decides to hold the Sunbearer Trials. They select 10 people who fit the criteria in order to compete in the Sunbearer Trials. The winner of the competition will become basically a Sunbearer. They will carry light with them and life with them throughout the lands, and the loser, unfortunately, is a sacrifice, which it's kind of looked upon as like an honor. The sacrifice will be used to refuel the sun, but like obviously that means dying, so it's not something that people like want to happen. Like, they would much rather be a sun bearer so that they can live. They would much rather win and be given the opportunity to bear light to the lands. I really love the sound of this concept, and I feel like something that Aidan Thomas does really well, or what I felt they did really well with the Cemetery Boys, is like really just make the characters feel believable and have you just like get attached to them and really care for the things that they're going through. And I feel like this is going to be one of those situations where like the stakes are so high. Like, it's literally life or death. You live and be a bearer of light to all the people, or you die. You're sacrificed for the sun. And I feel like this is going to be a situation where I find myself attached to several of the characters that are facing off in the trials. So it's going to be like a heart-wrenching, tear-jerking, snot into a tissue kind of read situation. I can't wait for it. It's going to be a fun and painful reading experience. Not me being like, I'm so excited to be in pain reading a book. It's going to be so much fun. But like, that's literally what I just said. I've been really in the mood to read a middle grade fantasy lately. I really love the fact that like middle grade fantasy really focuses in on like friendships and adventure, and romance is hardly ever a thing that like seeps in, which I feel like is something that is really prevalent in young adult fantasy and adult fantasy. And I just want some kind of like pure adventure, some kind of pure fun ride. So instead of scouring my shelves for some of the middle grade fantasy that I have not read yet, I decided to treat myself and pick up a few. So the first one that I have here is Sir Callie and the Champion of Helston. This one follows a non-binary character who lives in a world where girls are expected to be involved in magic and boys typically are trained as knights. And Callie just doesn't know where they fit in. Like, they're like, I just want to be great and powerful. But like, the problem is that the people who are in control and run things in this world look at Callie as a girl, and so they try to hold them back from reaching their full potential. And so we follow Callie's journey and breaking down these obstacles, but then we have these other characters that come into play that are also dealing with their own sort of like societal chains. I really like the fact that while it is this like fun, thrilling adventure, that we're also tackling these important topics like gender roles. And it's ultimately a story about fighting for who you are. I'm super excited about this one, and I hope that it just delivers on all fronts. This is the first book in the series. I'm not sure how long the series is supposed to be, but I believe there's 2 books out right now, this one and the second one. So if I read this one, I should immediately turn around and read the next one. Will I do that? Wait and find out. We'll see what happens. Have a little faith, Jesse. Have a little faith. Next up here, I've got Tide Magic, the many faces of Istaflit. In this world, magic ebbs and flows with the tide and brings in these magical abilities for these normal citizens. As the water rises, I guess there's a chance that it will affect the people nearby and give them some sort of ability, but something eerie has begun happening and people are going missing. We follow Ista, who has been affected by tide magic. She's able to change her face and be whoever she wants to be. Her father goes missing and she's very upset by this and wants to track him down and figure out what's going on with all these other missing people. She ends up teaming up with a thief who might not be the best company to keep, but in this situation, they feel like they can team up together and use their abilities to kind of like track down what's going on. And then they also team up with somebody else whose parent has also gone missing and they are desperate to find out what's happening as well. So we've got like a trio situation here, a classic trio. I love a trio moment. I also love complicated relationships. Obviously, Ista doesn't feel like she can really trust this thief, but it might be her only chance to like really figuring out or getting to the bottom of what's happening. And I'm also really excited about the idea of tide magic, and I'm interested to see how it's affected other people and what kind of other abilities are seen with people who have been affected by tide magic. That's what I want to know. Give me the tea. What abilities we got going on here? The next book I picked up is one that I kept seeing at Barnes & Noble, and I kept being like, should I get it? Should I get it? And I finally caved one day. I ended up buying it at like an indie bookstore. So I ended up supporting an independent bookstore. We love to see it. But that book is The Ogis and the Orphans. This book actually has a bit of a sad premise. This town's library has burned down and everybody is looking to point a finger at somebody. And it ends up causing a lot of conflict within this town. Like, people are just like pointing their finger at anybody that they come across and like trying to blame it on somebody because they just want answers and they don't have an answer. And the mayor's like, you know what? I'm gonna take care of this. There's this innocent ogress that lives in the forest and all she does is mind her own business and bake all these amazing baked goods, and I'm gonna blame her for the burning down of the library. And everybody's like, well, if the mayor's saying it, it must be true. Is it true? I'm not sure yet. I haven't read the book yet, but something tells me that the ogress is innocent. She's just different, and so the mayor's like, look, They did it! Then we've got these orphans that come into the picture, and they do what they can to protect the Ogis and clear their name. But in doing that, they must figure out what burned down the library. Which, I mean, if you look at the cover, I think I have a suspicion as to what it might have been. I don't know, there's just a dragon hovering over the town. Who could have done it? A fire-breathing dragon? I mean, I don't want to point fingers, but like... a finger I will point. I'm probably wrong though, it probably isn't even the dragon, it's probably the mayor. I'm gonna blame the mayor, because he's a scummy guy anyway for blaming the Ogis. Anyway. It sounds sad. I love sad. I can't wait to read the sad book. Okay, the last middle grade book that I picked up is a graphic novel, and it looks so sweet and cozy and wholesome. I had to have it. It's called The Baker and the Bard, and it's literally called a cozy fantasy adventure. We are following Juniper and Hadley, who are working at a bakery, and one day an unusual customer comes in and asks for a very specific baked good that needs a very specific ingredient, some kind of mushroom or something. And so Hadley and Juniper decide to go on a quest to track down these mushrooms, but on their quest they stumble across another quest of sorts, a side quest. All these farmers are having their crops eaten by some mysterious creature in the night, and so Hadley and Juniper decide that they are going to figure out what's going on and what this mystery goo is that they're leaving behind. I love the art style so much. Like, the art style itself is like oozing with the cozy vibes, which I'm super excited about, and then the story just sounds super sweet. I love a quest-filled book, and I feel like that's exactly what this is going to deliver. The last bit of books that I have to show you are ones that were sent to me by publishers. First up, Simon Teen sent me Another First Chance by Robbie Couch. I love Robbie Couch's books. I feel like he is severely underrated, and it makes me so furious. His books are so good. This one sounds like it's right up my alley because it's big time sad, and I love big time sad. I feel like we've been over this today. I feel like I've just like proven myself as somebody who like loves a devastating story. And this one sounds really sad. In it, we are following, what's his name? His name is River. River's best friend died in a car accident by texting and driving, and since that happened, his best friend has been used as like a poster boy for what not to do. So he's just like constantly seeing his best friend's mistake plastered everywhere and just like being reminded of his best friend's death. And it's just like really weighed down on him, like really hard. And so one night River's like, I've had enough. I'm gonna go like black out some of these posters because it's driving me crazy. Like, I just want to get rid of them. But in doing so, he ends up getting blackmailed by this group called the Affinity Trials, and they basically bring him in and have him be a part of this social experiment. Here he is paired together with one of his ex-best friends, and the person who knows more about his best friend's the texting and driving accident, so it seems like there's a mystery behind that. We also follow a bit of a gay romance moment between River and a quarterback, and we also have a mystery behind these trials and who's behind them and what they're even up to, because River is kind of like forced into it by blackmail. And so he doesn't really know what's going on, but like as he's working with them and being forced to work with them, he's discovering more and more sus information about them. So super excited about this one. I definitely feel like this one is going to hit with the feels. It's got a grief moment happening, obviously. I feel like the complicated ex-best friend situation is also going to be a little bit hard-hitting, and hopefully the romance will bring in a bit of lightness. Next up, I got sent a paperback copy of Murder Your Employer. This is another book that I like constantly kept seeing at Barnes & Noble, and like I wanted a copy. The hardcover is so beautiful. I mean, I love the paperback as well, and I'm very appreciative that this was sent to me because it definitely has a concept that intrigues me. It's basically, I mean, what the title entails. Like, it's about these workers who are so done with their employers, and so they take it upon themselves to murder their employers. But like, obviously they're not just going to get away with it that easily. Like, there's going to be some obstacles along the way. I'm not sure exactly like if we're following like somebody looking into this case and trying to figure out who murdered these people, or if we're following the actual employees who carried out the murder. I'm very intrigued to find that out, but I love a murder mystery moment, so I'm excited to get to this one. Next up, I received a copy of When Among Crows by Veronica Roth. I feel like that's a name that I have not seen in a very long time. I know that Veronica Roth has released quite a few books. I feel like she's more so in the adult lane these days, whereas she used to be kind of like the queen of YA, if you will. I haven't read a book by her in a minute, and this title actually really intrigued me. I did not know that it was a novella, but honestly, that makes me more excited because I've been really enjoying novellas lately, and also I loved the novella bind-up for that she came out with for Divergent, it was so good. That novella bind-up tells me that she can write a good novella, so hopefully this one is just as fantastic as those novellas. And the last book I have here is A Crane Among Wolves by June Her, an author that I've been meaning to read from for the longest time, and I have not picked up any of her books. I have all of the books that she's released so far, and I have yet to read one of them. I hate myself. I don't hate myself, but like, I hate that about me, that I will pick up books and they will just sit on my shelves for years and years and years. That's why I have such a TBR problem lately. I'm really trying to break down my TBR. I say as I am wrapping up a book haul currently, adding to my TBR. I don't want to talk about it. We're not here to talk about it. Nope, nope, nope. Anyway, I'm super excited about this book. This cover is also stunning. It's literally beautiful. It's a work of art. I want to just like display it on my bookshelves. It's that pretty. We're following a girl who is trying to get her sister back after she's been taken captive by the king. But on her journey to get her sister back, she realizes that it's basically a dead-end road. Like, she is not going to make progress in getting her sister back because the king is obviously powerful. He's not going to let a girl just come in and be like, yeah, can I get my sister back? Like, no. The answer is no. Then we get the perspective of the prince, the brother of the king, and the prince despises his brother. We're following him on his journey to dethrone the king and take over. Something tells me that these two characters are going to come together to do something to take care of the king, get rid of him, free her sister, and have the prince become the new king. It sounds fantastic, but I feel like I want to just go back through and read all of June Her's other books before I get to this one. Like, I feel like this will have to be my reward after reading her other books, because I have all of her other books, I just haven't read them yet. I haven't read them. I'm disgusting. Those are all the books that I picked up in the past few months. Let me know down below in the comments if you guys have read any of these books and what your thoughts are on them, or just let me know down below in the comments which one you think I should read first. I honestly don't even know which one I want to read first, so let me know your feedback down below in the comments. Help me out. If you like this video, be sure to go and hit that like button. If you want to see more bookish content from me, be sure to go and hit subscribe or go and hit that bell icon and you'll be notified every time I post new videos. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope your day is bright, that tomorrow is brighter. Keep reading what your heart desires, and I will see you soon with a new video. Bye.